Okay, well, I'm ready to rock and roll. You guys ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
Ready. Okay. All right. Well, happy month end, everybody. We're super excited. This is like an awesome month, isn't it? It feels like January month end. It's like 2 months in a row. What? So anyway, so thank you guys for coming or attending and seeing you guys. It's awesome seeing everybody. So if you can't turn your video on, turn your video on. We love making faces at each other and stuff. But we talked last week about bookings. So now we're going to talk about, you put in the time, you got your bookings. So now let's talk about host coaching those people that you have on your books. Okay. So I wanted to share my timeline, and it's one of my, host coaching is one of my favorite things about my personal business. And I spend about 75% of my time on it. So I spend a lot of time on host coaching, but I also want to make it worth my time. So for me, going to a large party is worth it for me leaving my house and my family. We've talked about on all the prior calls, right? So that's why that's one of my big goals. So the first step with host coaching is establishing your goals for workshops. So what do you want your business, your financial goals, and how many people do you want to help and be in front of per week or at the workshops, okay? So my personal top 5 goals for workshops are to help my hostess meet her goals and why she wants to host. My second is to have a large group, make my time worth more money, okay? The third goal is to help as many families at mealtime and with the Wildtree opportunity as possible. The fourth is to get in front of as many new faces. So my golden number a month is 100 faces a month. Okay, so that's a big number. I go big. So, set your goal of how many people you want to be in front of. This also leads to the bookings, the recruiting, the sales. It's all in the numbers, the 1 in 10 that we talk about. Okay. And then my last thing is have fun and challenge myself. I love a challenge. So I will try to mix things up, or I'll do a live video. I'll do something that makes me feel challenged or fun so that I continue to have fun at my parties. That's really, really important for you, because that's how you get your bookings and people want to be around you. When you know you're pushing yourself and you're having fun, that's where they want to be around you. So check the Grow Series workbook on our group page. Or on the notebook, I guess, and write down your goals. So there's a spot there to write down your top goals for your workshops. And then also see the timeline checklist that walks you through what I'm going to go through tonight. There's actually one, Courtney shared hers, and then I shared mine. So you can kind of see two different, I guess, we're the same biology, aren't we? I think we are the same. Yeah, same biology, but two different people, okay? Kind of seeing what works for different people, okay? So we thought we'd share both of those, since I'm going to tag team with Courtney tonight. So my first host coaching video is also a live example on the workbook. And then there's 2 more videos that you can watch for homework. So we tried to share as much information from here going forward to just give you, some words to use and some tips for host coaching, okay? Because you kind of have to find a science that works for you and a timeline that works for you, okay? So step 2 is to get excited and socialize with your new hostess. So host coaching starts right at the time of booking. And for me, most of the time, that is when I'm sitting down in the living room at the hostess's house. This is one of her friends is booking with me. So I usually fit in 2 to 3 minutes of host coaching right then and there. So I feel like this is a really best time to set their kind of mindset and what I'm going to kind of ask them to do, okay? So I'm setting expectations. I'm showing my confidence. This is what I do. And of course, I did that in my demo too, right? So I've already set them up for, hey, you want to host. This is why. This is what I do. Everybody wants to host. So now they already have that confidence, okay? So if she follows my directions and systems, this is what works. It'll be easy on her. It'll be the workshop she desires, just using some of those wordings, okay? Show confidence. And I have her immediately go home. The first step I tell her to do is we set a date. Immediately go home and take a picture of your meals in your freezer. There's something about a picture of their meals in their freezer with those labels showing that makes people go crazy, okay? So I always have her do that and then tag me. And this is going to be her first list of friends she's going to invite to her party. So we already have 10, 15 people, okay, right there and ready. And then that starts her planting seeds. And this is her most excited phase. So I'm using her excitement to go to Facebook and share. And so she's getting those bookings or getting those guest lists right away. And I've even gotten bookings from these posts too. So that's really, really important to have him socialize this. have her make a friends list. So I always throw out there like, hey, most of my hosts, we have 12, we talked about that. And I don't have you focus on how many people come. I just have you focus on how many people invite. So I usually tell people invite 50 to 60 people. And then I sit and wait and I see what their face looks like. Okay. And it's like, oh yeah, no big deal. Okay. I was like, okay, go home, make your list. Let's get 60. Okay. And so if they hesitate, I'm like, don't worry about it. How many people do you think? And if they say 40, say, okay, that's all right. You get your 40 list together. And then when we talk, we'll get the other 10 or 20. Okay. So I'm just playing out to see where they are. Okay. So making her list, that's really big there. And then the next thing I'd tell her, I'm going to send her a save the date. So when she does put up her list, she can contact them. I usually use Red Stamp, which I know is not available for much longer. But I say, just save a Red Stamp draft. That's what I did. And I'm going to start just typing in that. But just do some sort of cute save the date, like a photo that they can send to their friends just to start getting them to save and talk to friends. This is really to get them to start talking to friends about it. Okay. So if it's a long time period between your conversation at the workshop when you book them and their workshop, just keep them excited, reach in and talk about their meals, just touch base with them. So you want to keep in front of them so they don't forget and they're liking their meals and giving you feedback. Okay. Any questions so far? Okay. So the next step 3 is to have a plan in place to host coach and put in the work to do it. Okay. This is where it really pays off. Okay. This is the timeline of contacts and conversations that you'll have with your hostesses over the next 2 weeks. So this is what I'm going to go over now, the invite phase. Okay. So I put a link to my hostess coaching checklist, like I told you on the workbook. So you can see this kind of played out. Okay. So 3 weeks from the RSVP date, which is about 4 weeks from the workshop date. This is when I contact my host to get her preferred communication avenue. Okay, so Facebook Messenger, text, or email, okay, and which 2 menus she would like to do. Now, Courtney and Annie, do you do 2 menus too?
I have always in the past, but I've just recently started opening it up to all options.
Yeah, okay. I've been doing all options for about 6 months.
Okay.
So I just have the link available and they just go straight to the link and pick what they want to do.
Okay, I've been doing actually 2 menus, and then I choose the third to kind of round out the 3 top ones. You know what I mean?
Right.
Okay, good. So you can have them choose, or do like everybody like they're doing, and not even worry about the menus. Okay. So find out what her why is. So this is really important. It's kind of funny because she's not a rep, right? But we still need to know why she's hosting. Okay. Why are you doing anything? Set a goal. So you don't do anything without a goal. We've talked about that on every call, I think. Okay. So just setting the expectations for the workshop. What's her expectations? Why does she want to host? This is so critical because at the end, when they're not the best communicators, okay, not everybody's the best communicator. We know that, right? Okay. This is important because you have to know why they wanted to host. You can pull them back to that. Okay. So some common examples that I've heard are to help their friends, for free product, to be the first person to introduce their friends to something new, a fun girls' night, to share the meals because they've absolutely loved the meals. All those examples you guys have heard too. Okay. So just keep them exciting, keep them inviting, ask if they've been inviting, and just, getting that upfront work from them. Okay. So this is now where I create the invite. Okay. So I have the information from them that I need. I create that invite. And then 2 weeks before RSVPs are due is when I start my official, okay, this is when you're actually sending the official invite out. Okay. So this is where before that invite goes out, it's so important. And I want to say this again, it's so important to have a first host coaching call. Okay. Now, about 2 years ago, I noticed that my workshops were going down in attendance. Okay. And I kept figuring out, what in the world am I doing? I have so many workshops, but I'm not getting the numbers I used to have. And I went back and looked, and it's because I stopped having that first call with my host. It's so important. Okay. The 2 minutes you had with them in front of them already is not enough. Okay. This is really important to have that call. So I don't even send them an invite or do anything else with them until I have them on the phone. And they already know it's like, they don't host unless I talk to them on the phone. Like, that's just the only option. Okay. So I think setting that up and just knowing that's important. Okay. So on that call, what I do is I review her why, and why did, kind of go through and have her talk about, why did you say you wanted to host? Tell me more. And I'm here to help you get what you want out of this. So letting them know that right away. And then how many guests? So right here, I coast to their hesitation. So if she told me when I asked up front how many guests she wanted, if she said 8, then I would say, hey, I saw you wanted 8 guests. Tell me why 8. Like, well, I think that's the only people I can get here, or, my kitchen's not very big. So I just host coach to that. Okay. So if their kitchen's not very big, I say, hey, do you have a dining room and and a kitchen? Like, yeah. I'm like, shoot, we can fit 12 easy. You can fit here and here. And, so I'm coaching to that. Okay. So that's really important to kind of coach to that. Now I've had someone say, hey, I really just want 8. That's what I'm comfortable with. And I've even had people tell me, like, I have anxiety with too many people over. I'm like, all right, that's what we'll do. Okay, so I have to be okay with that too. We're setting the expectations and the goal together. Okay. And that doesn't happen very often, actually. Most of the time, they're like, yeah, shoot, I want 12. I want 2 kits free. Okay, so just setting the expectation and getting the kits free and getting their buy-in. And you can ask questions like, so are you in? How does that sound? Let's make this happen. How does that sound? Things like that to get them saying, yes, let's go for it. Okay. So then I'm setting the expectations that only a quarter of the people come to any event. It's not just your workshop. It's a birthday party. It's a wedding. Okay. So setting the expectations. Are you comfortable with inviting 50 or 60 friends so we hit your goal? Okay. And that's when you kind of coach to that too. Okay. And I really hit the emotional side. If they say, I don't think I can hit that many, then we brainstorm and I say, why do you think you can't hit that many? And, between Facebook and all the other avenues, and they really tell me, they open up. So I'm asking them questions, and most of them are like, oh yeah, I can hit 50 or 60. Okay. And if she can't do that, brainstorm with her up front on how can I hit the 50. You can use the document that's 40 friends in 4 minutes. You can give them all kinds of ideas about, posting on social media, having friends invite friends, all those things. Okay. So all the tips, but now to coach to it now, not 2 days before RSVPs are due. Okay. So you're coaching to it right now. Okay. Okay. So the other thing is to let her know you're going to hear the no's first. So that's just the way it works. You're going to have a planner like me, and I just have something on my calendar and I can't make it, but know that they can do it DIY. And so I get a lot of people here. And I even tell them, hey, I have 2 to 3 guests at every workshop that have the kit shipped directly to them DIY. And I give them examples. It's that person that already told you they can't come. It's your sister-in-law that's out of town. It's your mom that lives in California. It's your college friend. So I'm giving them examples. Okay. So I have 2 to 3 at every workshop. I mean, think about that. You have 8 guests and you have 2 or 3 on top of that don't come. That's a boost right there. Okay. So that's been a game changer for me. It's just setting that expectation. Okay. So then having friends invite friends. So especially for those that say they don't have like 40 or 50 friends to invite, their first priority is to find 5 friends that say yes and have them all invite 5 to 10 friends. Okay. And I give them example there if I need to about a gal that had just moved here and she wanted to host so stinking bad. And I said, okay, you get 5 people for sure that can come and have them invite friends. We will hit 12. And she hit 12. Okay. So I just kind of give them that example if they need it. Okay. So confidence. I mean, right. So I'm just telling them, hey, this is the math. This is the way it works. Okay. So what avenues does she prefer to invite? I always tell them my hosts that hit 12, they invite using all 3 avenues. Okay. But you choose at least 2. So I have them choose from email, Facebook, and text. And of course, in person. I mean, when they're at work and stuff, that's just a given. Okay. So just setting the expectation. Now I get really good results out of Facebook. I know, Annie, you don't use Facebook, do you, for your invites? Okay. Do you use Facebook, Courtney?
I do. Most of the time I do, yes.
So see, guys, that's the whole thing is you find what what you do and then give them multiple avenues to kind of choose from. And I give them the example here and I always chuckle. This is the fun part, right? I have to add fun to this. I always say, this is kind of learning your friend's communication avenue. Like you're learning your spouse's love language, okay? It's kind of interesting. You have to learn that along the way, okay? But you are learning how do they communicate. So we all have those friends that have 2,000 unread emails, which would make me have a breakdown, okay? And we all have those friends that never check Facebook. So that's the key. When they hear that, they're like, oh yeah, that makes sense. I'm that one, okay? So they say that every time. So that's really important to give that example. So then I send the first email. I tell them, send the first email via Facebook out today, okay? And send the email out today. And I just give them the examples of what works on Facebook, what doesn't, kind of the algorithms, and just making sure that it's necessary for her to get good attendance to personally contact. I say that so many times, they probably don't ever want to hear it again, okay? So that's what sets us apart. That's why they want to come, is because she contacted them. Okay, so the last couple pieces here on this call is just asking her, okay, so if you have any questions, hesitations, your friends have food allergens, please send them to me, three-way email them with me, three-way message them with me. That's what I'm here for. Let me do the work, you just invite, okay? But what questions or hesitations do you think you're gonna get from your friends? Okay, that's not their friend's hesitation. I'm asking because it's their hesitation. Okay, is it price? Is it the time? Is it because they're so busy? Okay, so I'm coaching her. I was like, so okay, what do you think about the price? Did you save money on your kit? Or, you know, did it save you much time? So I'm really host coaching her. It's not their friend's hesitation. Okay, so that's another big part, kind of working with her. Okay. And then the next day I text her and I always say, I ask direct questions. So direct questions is the key. Okay. Have you sent your emails? Did you get your personal contacts? Did you message everybody? Okay. So I'm asking her those direct questions. How many did you get to email? How many did you invite? Okay. And remember, I'm not being pushy because she already said how many she wanted and we were going to work towards this. That's the key. Okay. So then every 3 days or so, I keep an eye on her Facebook event. I also see if there's any RSVPs coming in. That's how I know kind of the communications and questions to ask her. So about every third day going forward, I ask her, you know, questions. How's inviting going? Are you getting good questions? How many people have you invited? You know, how many yeses have you heard? And who are those people? Just kind of making the list for her. If I don't have Facebook, Facebook really helps me keep track of that. I tell them to keep people RSVP'd yes and maybe there. And that really helps me see if they're personal contacting people. That's why I love that avenue, because if they have one person going and no maybe 50 invites, they haven't sent any messages. Okay, so that's why I know. That's why I keep track of them. Okay. And then the 1 week before RSVPs are due, this is where I let them know, hey, and I use the word, it's crunch time. We have 1 week left. We're halfway to your goal, or we're a quarter way to your goal. We're so close. It's really important to send that second invite. So I have them send the second email. Okay. And this is, you know, the way you're going to get most of the questions starting to come in now when you send that second invite. And then I was asking the most direct questions again. How many people have you invited? Do you need help adding to the list? Have you hit 60? That kind of thing. Okay. So just asking those questions. And you can tell if she's not a good communicator here by the movement. You know, like I said a while ago, you can see what kind of movement, if she's had any RSVPs. If she hasn't had any RSVPs at this point, then we really need to make sure she's personally contacting people. And if she says, yeah, I personally contacted everybody, then say, okay, what avenue did you use? Because maybe we need to change up the avenue. Remember we talked about your friend's communication avenue? Maybe Facebook Messenger isn't working, or maybe just email's not working. So we're brainstorming here on why we haven't gotten any RSVPs. Okay. And she can start sending me the list of names of possibly yeses and maybes. That helps me too. So if you don't use a Facebook event, you can ask for those list of yeses and maybes. And what else here? Ask about the no's and maybes and hesitations. So how can you start helping her with that? So a lot of them forget, you know, to three-way message me with the questions, or if she has people that said they have picky eaters at the house, she should be three-way messaging me. Let me help with that. Okay. And so that really reminds her, and she sends me questions my way with her friend. So just analyzing with her and brainstorming what's working, what's not working, how many responses she's getting, and just remind her that she has to personally contact. And, you know, really focusing on your language should be service oriented. You're using those words that she used on that first phone call about why she wanted to host. So if her goal was because she wanted to help her busy friends, then that's the wording you're using. Okay. If her goal was to get free product, that's the wording you're using. Okay. So really using the words that she had, that's why I'm asking them. Okay. And you're helping her reach her goal, which is hopefully 12. Okay. Okay, so the contact 2 days before. Okay, so we did the 2 weeks, we did the 1 week. Now we're doing the 2 days before RSVPs are due. And this is crunch time. This is when 80 to 90% of her guests will RSVP if she makes personal contact. And the key word is final personal contact. So the mistake I saw a lot of hosts making is they would message, say, hey, don't forget to RSVP. You know, we need to get those turned in. Instead of saying RSVPs are due today, we need to get those turned in. Okay. So just little language really, really helps here. So I send them what I want them to send so that it's just more specific language. Okay. Bring her back to her why. Because at this point, she's most likely discouraged because she only has 2 or 3 RSVPs. So that's when I share with them, like 80 to 90% are going to come in now if you make your final contact. Okay. Have her private message the Facebook events that have not responded. Now, the key here is for some reason, they think that they don't need to contact the people that have said yes and maybe, but haven't RSVP'd. So I have to be really clear. You contact every single person except for Melissa and Amy that has RSVP'd. Okay. I don't know why that is. Courtney, do you find that too? It's like they think they don't have to contact the yeses even though they haven't RSVP'd.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's the key. Just telling them, you know that they don't. Okay. Okay, so stay service oriented and motivational. You know, as people are RSVPing, I'm messaging her like, "Hey, Amy and Melissa's RSVP. Oh my goodness, we're so close." You know, like I'm super excited. I'm motivating her. I'm excited, and just sharing kind of, you're so close to your goal. We're only 5 people away from getting both of your kits free, whatever that is. So just staying excited. This is the crunch time. Okay, and now Courtney's going to share with you some more.
Great. Thanks, Kathy. So this is after all the orders are placed, and this is a great time to circle back around with your host and tell her something genuine about how she was fantastic at this process, whether she really did great with getting people excited and engaged, or she was super organized about it, whatever was what you can genuinely compliment her on, and tell her how good a job that she's done getting people to her party. And this is going to be, something genuine. You don't want to make something up. Just find something to compliment her on. And it's going to be different with every host. And then this is a good time to present her with the opportunity. And what I do, and I think Kathy, you do the same thing, is talk to her about the opportunity. If she's ready to get signed up, great. Then she can have the bookings from those parties, and she can have a business in her lap. Basically, you can help her book her first parties.
I want to add something there. Can I add something there, Courtney?
Yeah.
I actually have 3 leaders hitting numbers as we speak, and all 3 of those were that. And I went to the workshop and I got their calendar booked, and they're leaders now.
Nice.
Okay, so that's a perfect example of how that works sometimes.
Absolutely.
There you go. So go
you're
ahead.
helping them get off to a great start.
Mm-hmm.
You're modeling for them. It's a great scenario.
Yep.
So have her go back to her her friends list and start asking the people who haven't responded yet to attend, because there's still time for them to either just come check it out, or what I do, and I know Kathy does this, a lot of people do this, is I typically have a couple of extra kits on hand. So I tell her, hey, if you find out that so-and-so missed out, no problem. We've got some options. It may not be that particular meal, but I do have some menus available. So let them know that that's available if you do have extra kits on hand. So after the order is placed, send a final email to your host about what to expect. So I tell her when I'm going to be there, how it's going to go, how I want her to set up the kits, and for her to notify me when they do arrive, make sure everything's okay. And again, remind again that you do either have extra kits on hand, or that people can just come check it out. They can bring friends with them to come check it out. They don't have to be coming to prep meals. Pick a menu. I typically do this up front with my host, and I don't necessarily, actually, scratch that, reverse that. I don't engage the host for a workshop as far as what I'm bringing. I have her get some veggies and some crackers, and I have her get sour cream. I bring something for a dip, and then I bring little cups from sauces and oils. So I don't do a full-on tasting at my workshops. Tasting is a different scenario, and I'll cover that in a little bit, but Kathy, I think you do something a little bit different. You have a menu that you have her select.
Yeah, I have her choose Italian night or Mexican night.
Yeah, I find just at the workshops that people really aren't engaged in the food and sampling. They're engaged in the meal prep and excited about that. So I just keep it super simple, and whatever works for you. Obviously, we all do it a little bit differently, but that's when you would want to coordinate with the host. Again, keep up the excitement, because the party hasn't happened yet, and she can still get more people there. And just keep telling her that she's doing a great job. So at the workshop, this is when I also broach the subject of the opportunity again. If she said at the time when I talked to her earlier, maybe she wasn't sure, or she needed to think about it, wasn't a firm no, then we have that conversation again. Hey, by the way, before your friends arrive, I just wanted to ask if you thought any more about the opportunity. If you're thinking about it, I can mention it, and we can see how it goes over with your friends. So making it an open-ended question for her. But it's a great time to circle back around to the opportunity, give her another shot so that you can announce that she's considering the opportunity. After the workshop, send her a thank you, send the guests a thank you as well. I send a thank you email to all the guests. We're going to talk a little bit more about follow-up, I believe, next week. This is when also the host will pick out her final host reward. She'll close up the party, and you can share with her how many parties were booked from that. And again, this is kind of the last chance opportunity. If she wants those bookings, talk to her. Hey, you know, you had 4 friends that were super interested. I have dates for 3 of them. And then there were 2 others that were interested in hosting if you signed up. What are your thoughts? Are you still thinking about it, or are you ready to give it a go? And then circle back around about how her friends loved it, and wanted to know how much existing business she would have with her circle of friends. And send a thank you email to the guests, like I said. So I send that 2 days after, and then also encourage them to join my customer group as well. So what we've gone through today tonight is really about workshop. But if you're doing maybe a tasting or a non-traditional party, which could be a salad prep party, or maybe it's one of the new Instapot parties, maybe it's a shake sample party, a lot of these same steps apply. Some of them you will be pre-ordering, like for the salad prep party. So all of the same steps that Kathy went through apply. But the key really is about keeping the host engaged and excited, because she's going to come across people that say no, and then she gets disappointed and discouraged and stops asking. So really it's about keeping that constant contact. The biggest key for a tasting where you don't have ordering up front is the reminder, 24-hour reminder calls. So if you're doing tastings where there's no pre-orders, that is the critical step. And what I typically ask the host to do is to provide me a list of all the names of the yeses and the maybes and their phone number. And I say, you know, I'll take this off your list. This is not something that you need to take time doing. I'll do this as a courtesy for you. Send me a list of all the yeses and the maybes. I just need their first name and their phone number, and I'll give them a quick call. If you give them a call, you're going to end up talking to them for 30, 45 minutes, and you're never going to get through your list. So let me give them a quick shout out and just remind them of the party tomorrow night and encourage them to bring a friend. I have had this happen more than once where we have not made the reminder calls, and people have been super disappointed because they didn't remember that it was the following day. So we don't want them to miss out. Everybody's super busy, and I know for me, I hardly ever know what day it is anyway. So again, you're going to want to go through this analyze piece with your host about what's working and what's not, what worked and what didn't work. And go through this yourself at the end. And especially if you're new, you can work this out with your leader after you get through a few parties. Kind of go through the steps that you're working on and what you're doing, and have a discussion around what you should continue doing and maybe what you should start doing and maybe what you should stop doing. But it's also great to have this analyze piece in place, even if you've been doing this for years. Like Kathy said earlier, she stopped doing something a couple of years ago, and she found out that was having a big impact by not getting the host on the phone before those invites went out. And so we can be very successful in our host coaching and then stop doing what has made us very successful. And having that analyze piece in place is a great way to kind of continue to look and see, is our process working? So also be strategic. You're going to be doing a lot of the same things over and over again. You're going to be sending a lot of the same emails. Maybe you can set up templates, drafts in your inbox. I also set up emails to go out automatically so that I don't have to remember to send them. So you can actually put your guest list in after the party and have that 2-day email go out. And there are programs out there that can customize those emails for you. And there are programs out there that can send those automatically. Boomerang.
What do you use?
I use Boomerang for Gmail. There's an add-on that you can use for Gmail, and it uses a Google Drive, and it's not the most user-friendly, but it will customize emails for you. Basically can create a spreadsheet, and I think it's called Mail Merge. And then you can just put in their first name and their email, and you can create a template, and it'll customize that email and send it out to everybody. And you can actually have tracking along with that, which is pretty cool. So you can see who opened it, what they clicked on, etc.
Yeah, I have mine's pretty user-friendly. Mine's Yesware.
Okay.
Yesware. So all my emails are automatic, even my follow-up, everything. So,
yeah.
Okay, I just want to give them ideas in case.
Yeah, it's yeah, you get a system in place, spend a little bit of time to research what works for you, try something out, because you'll save a lot of time in the end by automating this. Any questions about what we've covered so far? I know we've thrown a lot of information at you. Okay, so we'll talk a little bit about hesitations. There's going to be an objection handling sheet that is in the workbook. And this document, if you have not seen it, even if you have, print it out, memorize it, have your kids take it and run questions by you until all of this just runs off the tongue, up the tip of your tongue, because these are the things that you're going to hear over and over and over again. And the sooner that you can answer their objection quickly and easily, the sooner you'll be on the path to great success. Because really, it's not about them not wanting to do something or them, it's about a fear that they're having. So what you're doing is you're helping them overcome that fear. So let's talk about a few hesitations. Anybody heard one of these? No one can come, no one has said yes. So yeah, maybe a few times. So this is really about expectations. And what has likely happened is that she has sent out the email, or she has invited people via Facebook and didn't personally invite anybody. So really kind of digging down into what she's really asking and the responses that she's actually getting. So if she says no one can come or no one has said yes, really drilling down and ask her, well, how many people have said no and how many people have said maybe? Well, let me go look at the Facebook invite. So that's a big key there, that she hasn't personally invited anybody. So then that's when you can go back to the host coaching and say, well, really the key is personal invites. Everybody ignores electronic media. So much is thrown at us. It really is about that personal connection. And people want to know that you really want them there. And so that's one way to handle that. No one can come, no one has said yes. So really dig down deeper into what has she actually done with the inviting process. It's too expensive. And I think Kathy touched on this. She touched on this a little bit earlier. You're really coaching to her objections here. So asking her, what do you think the benefits of the workshop are? If she has done a workshop before, what did it do for you? How much money do you felt like you saved? Do you feel like you spent more? You know, how did that work out for your budget? And then also breaking it down to the cost per serving. So it ends up being $4 a serving or less. And comparing that to what do most people do on those crazy nights when they don't have a plan? Go through drive-through, order in, go to a restaurant for a quick meal, or maybe buy some expensive prepared foods. You know, how much does that typically cost per serving? And you can also offer them some options. So if it is too expensive for people, maybe they can split the meals with a friend, especially if they have a smaller family. If they only have two or maybe three, two and a little in their house, they could split a bundle with a friend. Or they could just come to check it out. They don't have to purchase a kit to attend.
And Courtney, I want to add, can I add something here too?
Sure.
I went round and round with, you know, probably 5% of my customers that I literally can't save them money, right? But I can say, like, I asked them, okay, so if you didn't save money, you just couldn't see the savings, like you just can't, and I just can't get them to change their mind on it, right? Then what was the benefit you did see? And that's what you share with your friends. So was it the time? Was it the stress? Was it the whatever? Then that's the part that you share why your friends should do it.
Yeah.
So that's a big part of this too. I mean, some people you just can't, you just go to something else. Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I mean, either they've made everything from scratch for years, or they actually have no idea how much they're spending in groceries. So
correct. Yep.
Another thing that I hear all the time is, I don't want to be pushy. I don't want to force my friends to come. And really, this is about their fear of rejection. So bringing them back to their why. Why did they want to host? Why were they interested in sharing this with their friends? And ask them, do you feel like you're helping them and adding value to their meal times? You know, what are they going to get out of this by you inviting them? You could even do the cookie analogy where you know, somebody walks around and they offer this person a cookie and that person a cookie, and then they skip over these other people because they don't feel like they really want a cookie. And how would that make them feel? So use analogies, use stories, and make up a story if you don't have one. But you know, as you get more experienced and as you hear more, you'll hear stories that you can share with us. And also explain to them that people are busy and they need to hear something multiple times typically before they respond. And this is normal. They're not being pushy. They're simply providing the information and making sure that they understand that it's out there.
Yeah, and I asked them how many times it took them to pull the trigger.
Yeah, that is good. So what you're doing is you're not asking them to be pushy. You're not asking them to be a salesperson. You're simply asking them to share and setting their expectations. So again, go back to that objection handling sheet. That is probably one of the top documents I feel like that we have to offer, because once you're confident in knowing how to respond to these hesitations, then again, going back to exactly what Kathy said, it's about confidence. And we are the authority here, and we're helping them. Our job is to help them have the most successful party that they can. And we have to be confident in that. So refer back to your GROW workbook. Make sure that you have a system in place. Doesn't have to be a perfect system. Doesn't have to be the perfect system for you, but have a system. You can always tweak it. You can always change it a little bit, but just have something that is in place. And then schedule the calls for your host coaching. Block the time in your calendar. I don't know if you're sensing a theme here. And also make that an appointment. When you have that first conversation with your host to get her why and to really dig deep about why she's doing this, make an appointment with her. Make an appointment at the party. Write it down, invite her to that appointment so that she knows that it's a real thing and it's serious and you're serious about getting in touch with her and actually talking to her. So go out, book 2 parties dated before March 21st. And remember, it's our job to empower the host to have a successful party. Hope you're going to enjoy our fun business blitz tomorrow, and that you've selected which topic or topics you want to focus on and that you're ready to go for that tomorrow. And then next week we have our call, and it's going to be Wednesday on the 7th at 8:30, and it's going to be on 101s and follow-ups. So any questions before we adjourn for the evening?
I have a question about Red Stamp. Kathy mentioned that Red Stamp is no longer going to be available. Are we just doing Mad Mimi then?
So what I did was I actually saved blank of my templates from Red Stamp, and I'm just going to put them in Canva and type over them because I like mine a lot.
I do too. They work really nice for like just posting on Facebook or just sending out as a quick text.
Yeah, so that was my goal. I just saved the templates on my computer and left the space below blank.
Right.
And that's what I'm hoping works. I haven't tried it yet, but.
Okay, thank you. When is that gonna be?
I don't know. Do you guys remember seeing the date? Is it today or is it March? I don't know.
I didn't even see it. No. But come July, when we get our new system, all of that'll be fixed. It'll all be within the new system. So don't spend too much time, get what you need, minimal, but don't spend too much time, because August, we're going to be in a different boat, which is super exciting.
Yes.
That was awesome, you guys. I took like 2 pages of notes. I'm like, oh my gosh, I forgot I used to do that. That's awesome.
See, I mean, it really does. It's amazing when you go back and analyze and like, why did I stop doing that? And it just you get busy and you just, I don't know, you forget. So
yeah.
Yay, good. All right, well, thank you. I think it's Annie and I up next week, right?
Yeah.
So we'll see you guys next week, and happy month end and March 1st.
Yeah.
It's gonna be fun tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow night, 8:15 to 8:30, we'll do a wrap-up call to see how the blitz went. So hopefully you can hop on that, okay? So we'll see you guys.
Do you have the link posted? Do you have the link posted on the?
I'll post it.
Okay.
Yep.
Yay. Bye, guys.
All right, bye.
Thank you.